This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. A memorial event is happening tonight in Delaware County after a tragic house fire last week that killed 3 people, including 17-year-old Irie O'Shea. She was a student at Westdale High School. That's where we find RTV6 reporter Graham Hunter, who is live tonight ahead of tonight's candle vigil. Graham.
Well, Nicole, this is where classmates, teachers, and family members are expected to get together tonight here in front of the flagpole at the school to share stories about the life O'Shea lived. She's been described to me as an incredible student with a very bright future in front of her as a National Honor Society student and the captain of her Winter Guard team. She recently got her driver's license, something she was very proud of. O'Shea was very close with her grandparents, Kimberly and Daniel Porter, who also died in that fire earlier this week. Now, tonight at 11, we'll share more of their stories from this Celebration of Life event that's expected to begin here in about 1 hour. Working for you in Delaware County, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
All right, thank you, Graham. Well, a lot to cheer about today with our weather. We enjoyed lots of sunshine and temperatures in many spots, making it into the 50s. 51 degrees in Indianapolis, even a little bit warmer for you in Bloomington and Columbus. Temperatures right now, well, we're sliding back into the 40s, even a few spots already into the 30s. It's 38 right now in Crawfordsville, 39 in Columbus, but 47 degrees in Martinsville and downtown in Indianapolis. We're sitting at 46 degrees with that calm wind that's been very light throughout the day. Of course, that sunshine and warmer temperatures, we still melted a lot of the snow, but you can still make it out there as we're checking out those lights at the Brickyard. Heading out this evening, temperatures after that initial drop will kind of level off here in the lower to middle 30s through 11 o'clock at 34 with clear skies. One side note, the days are starting to get a little longer, at least those daylight hours now that we're into winter. Our sun set today at 5:24.
All right, Kyle, thank you. The suspect who fired at police during a standoff in Randolph County has died. State police say John Ressatar died this weekend at an Indianapolis hospital. Around 3 p.m. Friday, officers responded to a house in the 800 block of West Church Street in the town of Lynn on a report of a domestic situation between Ressatar and his wife. While the officers spoke with his wife, Ressatar allegedly shot at them with a rifle. During the nearly 6-hour standoff, Ressatar fired several rounds from inside the house. In all, 3 officers were hit by shrapnel from the rifle fire. Their injuries were not life-threatening. SWAT officers entered the house around 8 p.m. and found Ressatar unconscious and suffering from a gunshot wound. RTV6 is working for you and getting results. Improvements are now in place at an intersection in Franklin Township following our story. An accused drunk driver did not stop at a stop sign at the intersection of Shelbyville Road and 5 Points Road, killing 18-year-old Isaac Oldham in September. While taping this story, a woman stopped and expressed her concerns about the lack of drivers stopping at the stop sign. She recalled at least 3 deadly crashes over the years here. Well, we reached out to DPW and they have now installed stop ahead signs in an effort to warn drivers of the 4-way stop. They have also installed additional stop signs on the left side of the roadway across from the existing stop sign on the right side, creating a 4 double stop intersection. DPW says there may be an intersection improvement in the future, such as a roundabout or even a traffic signal, but what's appropriate has not yet been determined. Indiana conservation officers are investigating the shooting of a bald eagle in Lawrence County. The eagle that was found wounded on Friday afternoon just south of the White River near Dixie Highway. Despite efforts by DNR officers, the eagle later died. A reward is being offered to anyone with information concerning this investigation. There's an anonymous tip line at 1-800-TIP-IDNR. A reminder tonight from the Carmel Fire Department. The Safe Haven baby box installed at the station is only to be used for newborn infants. Someone left 2 kittens inside the box on Friday. Firefighters opened the box to find a small pet carrier and 2 kittens along with a note explaining that their owners had passed away and there was no one to take care of them. While they acknowledge the kindness behind this act, officials say the boxes are not designed or intended to take animals. The goal of Safe Haven baby boxes is to make it so that mothers have a safe place to surrender their newborns anonymously. There are currently 17 boxes installed across the state of Indiana. Indianapolis Animal Care Services is putting out a call for help just days before Christmas. The shelter says it's overflowing with animals and shared these pictures of dog crates lining the hallways. IACS is open for adoptions from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow before it is closed for Christmas Eve and Christmas. The shelter also shared a holiday wish list. They need donations of dog and cat food, litter, chew toys for dogs, and leashes. The holidays can be tough for families grieving the loss of their loved one, and that is why a local support group called A Mother's Cry pampered mothers this weekend who have lost a child to violence. They spent time relaxing, drinking wine, getting a massage, and even getting their hair and makeup done. The group typically meets once a month. Their goal is to provide a safe space for mothers and let them know they are not alone. There are other mothers going through the same pain that they feel.
We know the holidays can be very hard for these mothers, and where they can feel lonely and sad, and so bringing them together, loving on them, pampering them, just helps them know that they're not forgotten, that they are seen, and that we care.
The group spends time talking about their grief and trauma. They even have a psychologist that works with them and helps them process the emotions that they are often feeling so that the mothers can learn to cope with their pain and even help their children and grandchildren who are also grieving as well. New documents released in the impeachment investigation, what they suggest about the president's interest in Ukraine before the phone call that brought him to impeachment. Street signs that look more like alphabet soup. What's the story behind this strange sight? Officials say it's all about crime prevention. Kyle.
And we are not one and done with the 50s. We've got a very warm stretch of weather coming our way. We'll talk about even one of the warmest Christmases we've had on record. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
Service. RTV6 is working for you.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
The latest now in the impeachment investigation. New documents released under a Freedom of Information Act request show President Trump asked about aid to Ukraine as early as June. That's several weeks before his July 25th phone call with Ukraine's president. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott with all the details.
Newly released documents this weekend are prompting questions about efforts to withhold military aid to Ukraine. The Trump administration was forced to hand over communication between government officials who discussed freezing $400 million of military aid to Ukraine. Among the documents obtained by the Center for Public Integrity, heavily redacted emails from Michael Duffy, a senior official with the Office of Budget Management, directing the Defense Department to hold off on sending military aid to Ukraine and to limit the people who were told about this request. That email coming just 90 minutes after President Trump's controversial phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. These documents fueling calls by Democrats to have witnesses at a Senate impeachment trial. The House voted to impeach the president on Wednesday, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is withholding the articles of impeachment from the Senate until she sees how the trial will be structured. Republican Senator Ron Johnson calling Pelosi's decision bizarre and says the articles are pretty thin.
They had to rush to this impeachment vote, and then all of a sudden she's sitting on it.
But Democratic Senator Doug Jones says Johnson is making the case for why there should be witnesses.
If he really believes it's thin because the President of the United States ordered his top people who were in the room, who have firsthand knowledge, not to testify.
Republicans believe there is support in the Senate for a quick trial with no witnesses. Democrats disagree.
We don't know what the witnesses will say. We don't know what how the documents will read. They might exonerate President Trump, or they might further incriminate him.
With lawmakers on a holiday recess, a cloud of uncertainty now hangs over the timeline and scope of an impeachment trial. Rachel Scott, ABC News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Rachel, thank you. A community in Maryland hopes leaving something out will make thieves leave street signs alone. Here's what they're leaving out: the vowels in the street names. For instance, Blunt Road in Germantown, Maryland, missing a U. Officials at the county's Department of Transportation say people keep stealing signs that have double meanings, so they decided to remove the temptation by removing the vowels. In addition to Blunt Road, residents have targeted Terrapin Drive in Silver Spring and Stoner Drive in Colesville, just to name a few.
Well, obviously a stoner is someone who spends most of their time smoking weed.
And I think the fact the sign's getting stolen more and more frequently is a testament to the potency of the marijuana that I hear is going on these days.
Well, the county has also reinforced certain sign poles and placed signs higher up. We'll see if that works. Well, the weather outside this weekend does not feel like winter weather we are used to in Indiana, but we know there will be colder days ahead. A group called No Black on Black Slangs, or No Bobs, took time today to give out hand warmers, gloves, and other essential items to people experiencing homelessness. They held their Christmas for All homeless giveaway downtown in front of the Central Library. The CEO and founder of the group says he always tries to put himself in their shoes and realize it could easily be him that needs the help.
We just try to bless the unfortunate, man, the ones that are, that don't have homes at this Christmas season, no loved ones that show them any love. So we come out to let them know that they are loved and somebody do care, and they still God's people too.
Today they served around 75 people. They do need donations to continue this work. They do pop-up pantries around town in high crime and in food deserts. The founder says they are always in need of meat for those pop-up pantries. To donate, go to nobobs.org. And we mentioned there, Kyle, you don't really need the hand warmers or gloves so much today, and maybe not for the next few days.
Yeah, not for about the next week, but today, winter just getting started with the first full day. So we're getting a break here. We're kind of easing into it after all that snow we had about a week ago. All right, let's show you across the country. Not only is it quiet weather here in central Indiana, but almost coast to coast here, not dealing with much in the way of precipitation over the northern half of the country. But as we look into the southeast, a different story here. Quite a bit of rainfall. Could certainly say that we had the better weather day with those temperatures making their way into the 50s. Right now, we're sitting in the 40s. The exception, though, Kokomo, you're already down to 38. It's 46 in downtown, and Martinsville right now coming in at 47 degrees. Temperatures tonight will ease back through the 30s and eventually land right around 30 degrees. Some upper 20s will be out there for us as well, with clear skies, and the wind is going to stay fairly calm through the overnight. So we'll have a temperature of 29. So some chilly nights, but those afternoons are going to continue to get a little bit warmer here. More great weather in our Monday forecast. We're back in the sunshine, and those temperatures warming quickly back into the 40s here at noon, and afternoon highs that'll get around 54 degrees with that light southwest wind at just 5 miles per hour. Again, our average high is only about 37. 53 will be your high in Lafayette, 57 in Columbus and Bloomington. So we're going to continue to melt more of that snowpack away. Really not expecting much of it to be left here as we go into Christmas Day. Then the big travel day on Tuesday, on Christmas Eve. Don't think we're going to have any weather problems for your travel plans here. The morning sunshine, 30 degrees. We're into the middle 50s with mostly sunny skies as we go into our Tuesday afternoon at 56. And Santa's not going to have any snow for him and his sleigh this year. We're actually increasing that temperature a little bit more. It looks like we'll have some more sunshine around the area, and 58 degrees, which would put us in the top 5 warmest Christmases here in central Indiana. There's a look at some of those numbers. You can see the warmest on record, 64 degrees set back in the 1800s here, and 58 last time we were there was 1973. 7-day planning forecast, and we are going to keep this warmth going for the next several days. So you're not going to need the hat and gloves. You're going to need the sunglasses, though, with sunshine right through Christmas Day. The overnight's moderating a little bit here as well, even into the middle 40s on Thursday morning. So we're talking about temperatures overnight that aren't even below our average high for this time of year. Clouds will increase for the second half of the week. It's not until we get into Saturday, though, that we've got some rain around the area. And still, even when we cool down next Sunday, we're talking about highs in the 40s. Not bad.
58 on Christmas. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's certainly been a little while since we've been this warm, but it's also nice that we're going to have the quiet weather to go with it for all the travel.
Thank you, Kyle. All right, coming up next, we'll have highlights from Lucas Oil Stadium with Brad Brown. Stay with us.
Chance to win 4 tickets to see Michael Bublé Monday.
One final home game for the Colts in 2019. It had been a disappointing December so far, but the Colts gave their fans plenty to enjoy this afternoon. A 38-6 win over the Carolina Panthers. Brad Brown was at Lucas Oil Stadium and has the recap.
Let's be honest, it can be hard to get excited about a Week 16 game when neither team has any playoff considerations in the running. But the Colts certainly did what they could to entertain fans here at Lucas Oil Stadium this afternoon on their way to a 38-6 win over Carolina, their 7th victory of the season. Let's start with the defense. They were definitely the unit today that really got plenty of attention as they kept Carolina out of the end zone. Backup quarterback Will Greer was frustrated all day. 3 takeaways on the afternoon, couple of interceptions for Pierre Desir. All in all, the Colts D making up for a couple of difficult weeks ahead of this one.
We were just playing for each other, just flying around, having fun. You know, it's always hard when you know your season is over to come to work. But, you know, we have so many great group of guys, that want to work hard, continue to get better. And that's what we're trying to do, just continue to get better, work on what we need to work on, and go out there with a victory.
Man, it felt great. I mean, I don't even know when our last win was, so it definitely feels great to kind of get back out there and get a victory.
On the offensive side, the Colts were good, not great, but certainly a couple of milestones on Sunday. Marlon Mack able to go over 1,000 yards on the season rushing, just the second time in the last dozen years that the Colts have done that. A good performance from several other guys as well, as the Colts finally getting back on track with the offense that they hoped we would have seen all season.
I think we haven't been ourselves these past few weeks, man. And we finally got back to it. More guys relaxing, having fun, and just going out there playing ball. Guys get nicked up, man. Guys step up, man. Those guys have been balling out all season, man. I'm truly grateful for them. Even my tight ends, man, that come in and block, Mo, Jack, all those guys have been balling out this season. I'm truly grateful for them.
And how about the special teams? Nyheim Hines with a record-setting performance here in Week 16. It had been 7 years since the Colts had a single punt return for touchdown, but he took care of that with a long 84-yard return for a score in the second quarter. And for an encore, he did it again in the fourth quarter. You got to wonder why Hines maybe hadn't been doing this all season. For Nyheim, the culmination of a hard work in 2019.
When I can catch the ball and look down, that means those guys have already done their job. And honestly, when I have to make 1 or 2 guys miss, that's really not really me. That's the rest of the guys on the team. I had to make, on both returns, I think I had to make 1 or 2 guys miss, and everybody else was blocked. So really, that's really the return guys. It's not really me. So really, honestly, I wish I could bring them all up here for me. But those are the guys who really made it happen.
He said he's going to give a Christmas present to everybody on that punt return team because, those guys made incredible blocks. Some guys pulled off when they had the chance to go for a decleater and maybe get a flag. And those are huge momentum shifts in the game. You get one of those as a team. On the other side, you're probably a little bit defeated. So can't say enough about Nyheim. Just an incredible player, selfless teammate, and just an incredible runner.
So this will be the final dose of football Colts fans get here for the 2019 season, as it'll be next August before we see them here again. The Colts close out the regular season next Sunday in Jacksonville. At Lucas Oil Stadium, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Welcome back. If you haven't wrapped your gifts yet, we're going to show you how to cut your wrapping time in half. Here's Annie Taylor.
Procrastinators or money savers, we have some unique tips from gift wrapping expert Cami Witulski to save you from a holiday headache. First up, we've all been there. We've either cut the wrapping paper too short or it's the end of the roll. Cami says don't throw it out. Turn the gift sideways and you should be able to wrap it with no issues. Next up, don't have wrapping paper or it's just too expensive? Cami says there's nothing wrong with using tissue paper.
Tissue paper comes in a very nice packaging nowadays. You can get multiple designs in one package for just a few dollars. And it's usually between 20 to 30 sheets of tissue per package. So that's plenty for you to do a lot of gift wrapping.
But remember to use 2 to 3 sheets so you don't see the gift and the tissue doesn't rip. Soft items like clothes, they can be hard to wrap, especially if you don't have a box. Cami suggests using 2 sheets of tissue. Roll the item up, place on the tissue, and then start to roll up the clothes into the tissue, making it look like a piece of candy. Use ribbon to tie the ends, and it's the perfect little Christmas treat. I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Annie, thank you. Well, with the hustle of last-minute holiday shopping underway, a group of volunteers took some time today to pause and help bring smiles to the face of others this Christmas. Maddie Smiles volunteers gathered at Giacomo's Pizza to finish their Winter Act of Kindness project. This year, they are making no-sew blankets for people battling cancer or babies in the NICU. The nonprofit is dedicated to spreading smiles by performing and encouraging random acts of kindness. They do this in honor of Maddie, who was born with spina bifida and blessed her loved ones on earth for nearly 20 years. They say her smile could light up a room and brought joy to others, and now they are trying to do the same. So many people doing so many kind things this holiday season.
Yeah, those look great, and the blankets are going to come in handy here because we know it's going to get cold. Next few days, though, unseasonably warm here, and that means great travel weather and those errands you got to run. No problems with the weather here as we'll enjoy sunshine right through Christmas Day, and each day those temperatures getting just a little bit warmer. 54 tomorrow and close to 60 on Christmas Day.
I'm all about the warm weather. Thank you, Kyle. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tonight at 11.